Good morning. This is Jason Dean coming again for a brand new Film Fanatic show. Although this is a little bit of a different show, just because of something that I just saw and just happened. So I was like, okay, I need to talk a little bit about this. So I'm a massive Robert Eggers fan. I love his work. I've talked about, you know, all of the films of his. I mean, starting with The Witch was the first. That was the first movie of his that I saw in the theater. Or actually, no, I did not see. I did not get a chance to see that. The Lighthouse, I did get a chance to see in a theater, and which I as a masterpiece. And I'm a massive fan of Nosferatu, which I thought was again a masterpiece. I think for me, it's the kind of the definitive, my favorite version of Dracula. For me, it's the ultimate. And so I just watched the trailer for Werewolf, which is his new film that's coming out in December, just like Nosferatu, which I think is awesome and hilarious. And I just watched the trailer for Nosferatu. I'm sorry, I just watched the trailer for Werewolf, and my God, holy shit, insane, completely insane. And so I wanted to just do. I don't usually. Well, I from time to time, but it's not a usual thing. But I don't usually watch do trailer kind of review shows because trailers can be, pretty misleading and disappointing, or they can give away too many things and they don't pique your curiosity. But I think there's been a trend lately with some newer trailers that I've seen of where, wow, okay, I think the magic of a good trailer is it's gonna like grab your attention and you're gonna want to see the movie, and it's not gonna give away key plot points and act as like a highlight reel, a catch up reel to that it to me a lot of trailers for a long time were having the reverse effect where I watch a trailer and I'm like, oh, okay, there's multiple big plot reveals and you kind of know in about 3 minutes of what the whole fucking movie is. But I've noticed lately that there's been a few trailers where the movie looks great, and it leaves me with a feeling of not having answers to any of the questions. It raises more questions, but it's intriguing, and I'm like, damn, I got to see this. It pulls you in. And the Robert Eggers trailer for Werewolf, which I guess just dropped today. Wow, unbelievable. One of the best looking trailers I've seen in a long time. I mean, it looks wild. It looks like, again, you don't know until you see the movie, obviously. But this movie, I mean, Robert Eggers is a master. I think people who are not even, say, necessarily big fans of Robert Eggers like I am will like give him props for this, but he's a master of the period piece. Like nobody does a period piece better than him as far as like the details, the richness, the folkloric aspect of the mythology, the design, the language, costuming. I mean, just everything. The richness and the scope of detail that he puts into a movie is staggering, staggering. There's no other director I think that does that. And I've always been a big fan of the period piece film. I kind of want to be transported to a different world, especially when it comes to a certain time, particular time and place in history. But I honestly feel that nobody does that better than Robert Eggers. I think he is such a master. Um, and I have to say, this trailer that I just watched, like literally, it happened a few minutes ago. Finished. I had just finished making a new video for the channel, and I made sure it got recorded, and then I started uploading the video, and then it came onto YouTube, and it came up right away, the Robert Eggers trailer, and I was just like, oh my god, what the hell? It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So whatever you're doing at this moment, whenever you see this video, just stop and go on YouTube and check out the Robert Eggers trailer. It's the official trailer. This movie has been talked about quite a bit. I remember hearing about Werewolf being his second film. I think it was just maybe a few months after Nosferatu had come out. And he finished, Robert Eggers, I guess the film wrapped and finished shooting a few months ago. And then there were a couple, one or two big film festivals. I think it might have been at a Comic Con, one of the bigger ones this year. But there was a trailer. I think it's the same trailer that premiered today. I think it premiered today on YouTube. But I think this trailer was shown like exclusively at one or two of these festivals. And I remember hearing, I watched a couple of videos when that came out of a few people, press and people who are in the film industry, people who have YouTube channels and what have you, were at these particular festival or festivals, and they saw the trailer for Werewolf, and they were talking about it. And they were talking about it as like this very intense experience, and that this movie very much looked like a full on balls to the wall, like ferocious werewolf film. And they were, raving about it. They said the trailer is just like insane. And from what I gather, sorry, I've heard about. It's been well over a year, maybe a year and a half now since I heard about this movie, since Werewolf, and I knew right from the get go. I had heard right from the get go that this movie was going to be, definitely a period piece. Willem Dafoe was going to be in it. So, again, just that alone, I'm like, yep, I'm in. Point me in the direction of where this movie is going to be shown, and I'm going. The werewolf genre for me is my favorite. And when it comes to like, there's varying degrees or various degrees of different kinds of uh, subgenres within the horror. I mean, the zombie, for instance, like you have like your classic monster, the Universal monsters. You have those films, Frankenstein, Dracula, and then you have, vampire films. You have werewolf films. You have, the zombie films, the slasher films, supernatural films. You have various creature feature movies. So you have, various different kinds of, to a degree, subgenres. But when it comes to like werewolf movies and just like the whole aesthetic, like I'm a massive vampire fan and Dracula fan. So, and I also am a massive Frankenstein fan. And going back even further, probably my favorite Universal monster movie is The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like, I love that movie. I think that movie is a fucking masterpiece. But I love them all. And so, but I have to say, there's something about the werewolf genre that I'm just like, I'm all in. Like, there's not as many werewolf films in comparison to, say, vampire films. They still crank them out, and there's so many Dracula films, and there's so many fucking Dracula, but then there's so many vampire films and also zombie films. And I love those genres to death. But there's something special to me about the 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 werewolf monster. That is, to me, is the ultimate. My favorite werewolf film of all time, which I did a deep dive video on a while ago, is the Howling. That movie's a masterpiece. But I also love, there's a lot of great ones. I'm a massive Paul Naschy fan. I love his films too. You have, of course, Silver Bullet, which is amazing. You also have, you know, um, American Werewolf in London. I mean, there's so many great ones. But in comparison to, say, like the vampire genre and then the werewolf genre, there there's way more vampire films, and it's pretty few. It's been kind of dry. It's been pretty slow. Like there hasn't been a new werewolf film in a long time that I think is great. Like just awesome. Like something that's somewhat on par with like the Paul Naschy werewolf films or The Howling. Like it just isn't. There's been a billion vampire films since then, but since like when you think of classic vampire films like Near Dark or The Lost Boys or so many. But the werewolf thing is I don't know what it is. It's like this deep attraction to that. I think it's got this more of a primal thing for me. It's a little bit more scary, um, and it's just got this, yeah, this kind of like primal drive or attraction to me. Just love it. Just it's just so the werewolf is such a badass like creature, feature, monster, iconic thing. Like it's just amazing. So yeah, stop what you're doing and check out this trailer. Oh man, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to do a quick video because I usually don't do like trailer reaction videos, but I just saw this and I was just like, holy fuck! And it's coming out on Christmas. And from what I saw of the cast and what from what I've read, Anna Taylor Johnson is in this film, who was in The Witch, of course, masterpiece. Lily Rose Depp is also in this film from Nosferatu, and she was fucking awesome in that. Also, William Defoe. I sh- oh, I'm sorry. Aaron Taylor Johnson. No, he was not in The Witch. He was in Nosferatu. Great actor. He was in the first movie I ever saw him in was Kick Ass, which is so great. So yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson is in Werewolf. William Defoe, Lily Rose Depp, Ralph Inson, who was in The Witch. He's also in this film, so he's fucking awesome too. So yeah, I'm I'm beyond stoked. It's coming out Christmas time, Christmas Day, the same release time that Nosferatu came out. Holy shit! Holy shit!